about you and me.
What's up, everybody? Real Talk Radio 97.7 The City. Thank you so much for tuning in. And another Thursday, everybody tuning into Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Soundgarden app. Thank you so much. We got another very special show and another very special guest, influencer, Xenon the model. How's it going?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing great today. Today was a pretty crazy, busy day, and I'm so glad to be here at the end of the day to chat and relax and engage with the audience.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming, taking the time and coming out and doing this interview with us. So for the people who don't know who Xenon the model is, let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a professional model. I am a social media influencer. So that just means that I take a lot of pictures and do a lot of TikToks.
There you go. What got you into that route, or like that career path of being an influencer and modeling?
So it was completely accidental, I'm going to be honest with you. I had a friend a few years ago that had a photography studio. And with his photography studio, he wanted to have all these pretty pictures on the outside to advertise. Yeah. And he said, could you just sit there and try to look pretty? And I said, I think I can do that.
Just to try to like practice some shots,
yeah,
in other words?
Exactly.
Like, I got you.
And then some of his friends called me that they wanted to use me, and then bigger photographers, and then actual labels, and then I started signing with brands to model wigs and shirts and shoes.
That's dope.
I've gotten to work with some pretty big names, and it was all accidental.
That's crazy. So this is definitely something like when you're a little girl, I want to grow up and be a model or influencer. Is that, what did you want to be when you were younger?
When I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be a massage therapist.
Massage therapist?
That was my dream.
So now in the modeling world, like having a platform, I understand also you also advocate for disability as well. Can you speak a little bit on that?
Definitely. So as a professional model, I get invited to work conventions and car shows and expos and a lot of things like that. So when I set up my table, of course I have my pictures that I sign and my background where I take pictures with people, but most of my table is covered in information about not only my disability but other people's disabilities, and I have pamphlets for family members and friends on how to treat people with disabilities, how to better help them on a physical level and on a mental level.
That's crazy. And what kind of feedback do you get from people? Oh, they just think you're a model, and they see you handing out pamphlets and they start asking questions. Like, what kind of reaction do those people get?
So usually I get really, really, really positive feedback from everyone. People tend to have either a disability themselves or they know someone that does, and they get really excited when they see somebody representing someone that they care about or someone that they know. Not too long ago, actually, I had a girl that started crying a little bit because she said that her brother is disabled, and she felt really happy to know that someone was representing her brother.
Yeah, for sure.
And that touched me because I was able to be the voice for someone that doesn't have one themselves.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So you advocating for disability, even though, I mean, you're a model and stuff, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of positives and negatives that come along with it. How important is like having your mental health like stable, being in front of the camera, in front of a lot of people? Do you deal with a lot of like trolls and stuff?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Trolls are everywhere. How do you handle that? Like, I mean, it's...
So for the most part, there are a lot of people that want to go online just to see who they're going to be mean to. And I get a lot of people either laughing at my disability, at other people's disabilities. And I try my best to take their words, and instead of fighting fire with fire, I will take what they said and flip it around so that I can use their negative statement to better teach and influence people in a positive manner.
That's good. So that's pretty inspirational. That's
Thank
crazy.
you.
So speaking on disability, what disability is it that you have again? I'm sorry, you had told me off camera. Can you let the people know?
So I have something called dysautonomia. It is an umbrella term that has a lot of subcategories, and out of all of the subcategories, I fall under a whole 4 of them. So it makes it hard to deal with. One of the major ones that I deal with is autonomic failure, which means anything in my autonomic system, which is your fight or flight responses, and better defined, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, anything involuntary can fail with me at any time.
Wow, it's crazy. That's rough. That being from like you said like blinking, swallowing, even breathing maybe.
So
That-
I can blink normally, but sometimes my eyes won't adjust. If I walk out, my pupils aren't constricting, so I won't be able to see when I walk out, or vice versa. I won't be able to see when I walk in, and it'll take a very long time. Sometimes I can't swallow. My epiglottis won't flap. Sometimes I won't be able to digest properly. It affects my heart rate. It affects my breathing, my blood pressure, my ability to stand. So I can only stand about 5 to 10 minutes at a time. So if I'm going to the grocery store, to the mall, I'm in a wheelchair, because if I'm not, I will be passed out on the ground every 5 to 10 minutes.
That's crazy. Is that associated, that same umbrella category? Is that like that this where have you seen Mel Bigelow, Deuce Bigelow, something like that with
I've seen parts.
So there's a scene where he's dating
the
a
girl
girl.
that
Yeah,
sleeps.
is that the same?
No,
falls under the same
I
thing?
think she just sleeps.
Oh, okay. That's actually, I remember now. It's called narcolepsy.
Yeah.
It's different.
She
I got
falls
you. My
asleep.
bad.
But you know what? I have passed out in a pizza before, so you were very
Really?
close.
For real?
Yeah, the pizza was really hot. It wasn't fun.
That's crazy. So, what kind? Do you have any projects coming out? Anything exciting you got going on in your life right now?
So I just wrapped up a music video a couple weeks ago.
Dope.
I wrapped up another music video 2 days ago. I'm
Cool.
doing another music video on Sunday.
Yeah.
I just had a photo shoot last week with some pretty big liquor brands.
Nice.
And I have another photo shoot tomorrow.
Wow, you busy then. So
Yeah.
would you say this is like your dream job? Are you living like, is this what you, obviously you said you wanted to be a massage therapist, but how are you enjoying your career so far?
I honestly really like it because
That's
I get
awesome.
to do a lot of good with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
Or try to, I guess.
You got to use your
It's-
voice and
yeah.
like advocate for something
I
you're
mean, if I'm
passionate about.
developing a platform, I want to do something good with it. I don't just want to sit there
Yeah.
and say, well, come look at me. Here's my platform.
Yeah, for
and it's
sure.
okay. If people do that, that's perfectly fine. But in my opinion, for myself, I feel like I can't let myself do that.
I got
need
you.
to be the voice for someone that needs it.
Nice. So going back to the music video, are you able to drop some names on who you do music videos for? Or is that kind of hush hush, or can you talk about that?
Not just yet. Not
I got
just
you.
yet.
I
Not
got
till they
you.
come out.
I got you for sure. So speaking on music, you're telling me off camera you're all into all types of different music. If you have something in your, what do you got playing in your car, like on the way home? What kind of genre you listen to most?
I don't know. I'm one of those people that
just
I'm
got a
listening
mix of
to like
everything.
a country song, and then all of a sudden like Pierce the Veil starts playing, and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
alternative emo kid comes out,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden Amor Eterno from Rocío Durcal. I'm sorry, Rocío Durcal, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a
That's
mariachi
crazy.
singer now.
What do you think about this whole movement of like the music? Of course, Grupo Frontera, being from the Valley and then making it big, singing with Bad Bunny. Is that something you listen to at all?
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
their new song with Bad Bunny
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
Barely discovered it a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I think I'm kind of falling behind because everybody knew what it was already.
Yeah. So that's crazy. The music scene down here, especially right now, has been blossoming crazy like ever before, especially with a big light being shed on the Valley right now with Frontera and all the other stuff going on. We got a bunch of famous people that are coming out of the Valley, from Brandon Figueroa, the boxer, to a bunch of people who are just putting the Valley on the map. And it's people like you, Brandon, Frontera, people who are elevating and shining a light. So, man, I think that's just real awesome that you guys are being able to shine a light on everybody down here, from a corner of Texas who's normally not really seen or heard about, to people knowing what McAllen is. You see people, you go other places and everybody's yelling "cuh" or saying slangs and stuff. So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, thank you so much for putting me in the same category. I feel
Yeah,
honored.
no,
Thank
but,
you.
I mean, we're all, I
I
mean,
feel like a superstar.
yeah, for sure. Other than that, so we talked about music, your sense of style. Where do you get your style from?
So you're gonna laugh, but I feel like I don't have a sense of style. People
Okay.
always tell me, "I love what you're wearing. Your style is so unique." I'm like, I don't have one. I just kind of,
How do you pick your outfits?
I just throw on whatever I
just
felt
whatever?
like throwing on that day.
Yeah.
You know, if it's one of those days where I feel like an emo kid today, you're
You
gonna
just
see
go
me.
with how you're feeling. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And then there's another day where I'm like, I want to be fancy today.
Yeah.
And I like that because I get to not have a one style that defines me.
Yeah.
I get to wear whatever it is that I'm feeling that day, and it allows me to better express myself.
Yeah.
And I try to convey that a lot on my online videos and my TikToks and tell people, you know, you don't have to be one thing. You don't have to be whatever society wants you to be. You can choose to dress like whoever you want to dress.
That's crazy. I'm gonna throw you a curveball question. top 3 favorite movies. Go.
Oh my God. Bridesmaids.
Okay.
It's funny.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Got you.
I don't really watch movies. I can do this. Anything involving Nishiro Murakami, he's my favorite actor. So if he's in it, it's my favorite already.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there. What you say? What was that guy's name?
Nishiro
Murakami.
Nishiro Murakami.
Murakami. What is he in, or what does he come out in?
He's got a lot of stuff. On Netflix, he's in Alice in Borderlands.
Okay.
He plays Chishia.
Oh, okay. Now I feel like I'm the one that lives under the rock. I've never heard of this because I never heard of him until you mentioned it. So.
Have you heard of Alice in Borderlands?
Yeah, I've heard of Alice in Borderlands.
Yeah, he plays Chishia. So this is actually a replica of the wig he wears on the
show.
Oh,
really?
That's how obsessed I am with him.
That's crazy.
That I had a replica wig of the one Chishia wears on the
That's
show.
crazy. That's crazy.
And my third one, I have no idea. When I was a kid, I think I might have watched iRobot like 11 times in a row.
Really? Is that
I didn't have
his?
cable, no. But that was part of why I watched it so many times.
Yeah.
But you know what? I guess I wouldn't mind watching it again. So.
iRobot.
Yeah.
The top 3 favorite movie. That's interesting. Actually, iRobot's on my top 5 for sure.
It was
That's
movie,
a crazy freaking movie.
Anything with Will Smith.
You didn't find out he was a robot till the end of the movie. I was like, man, why does he got metal in his arm? I was like, oh dang, he's part robot.
Wonderful twist.
Wonderful twist.
Very creative.
Yep.
Loved it. Loved it.
That's crazy. So we talked about music, movies.
About Nijiro.
Nijiro.
Actually, I started learning Japanese because of my obsession
Really?
with Nijiro, because there's so many movies that I can't translate.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to learn the language.
Yeah,
so that
for
I can
sure.
watch these movies and know what they're about.
You plan on doing some work in Japan, or is anybody you wish to collab with over there?
Nijiro.
Or what about here? Any dream collabs? Anybody you like? Somebody you just always wanted to work with in what you're doing right now, whether it be TikToking, collab on TikTok, or just modeling in general.
Here in the Valley?
In the United States.
In the United States. I'm actually always open to working with absolutely anyone, whether they're someone that's kind of a hermit crab and stays home in their coconut all day, or someone that actually has a big name. To me, it's not about working with a big name for the clout, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
To me, it's about doing something that makes an impression on the world, a positive impression on the world.
Absolutely.
And if I can make a better impression with a nobody than a somebody, then I'm going to go over there and I'm going to make that positive influence on the world.
For sure. And that's something also, like, even me having this platform, just talking about positive stuff, and there's a lot of people going through, whether it be mental health or just personal stuff in their family, and my main thing is to always spread positive messages, and you don't never know what somebody else is going through, so it's always good to just be compassionate and
that's something I talk
a
lot about as well,
Yeah.
because invisible disabilities is the main thing that I talk about. Because people look at me and they say, well, you don't look disabled. Well, what does disabled look like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
People kind of tend to have this stereotype that if you're disabled, you must look different. And that's not true. That's completely false.
Yeah.
And mental health, there's a lot of people that have mental disabilities.
Yeah.
And you'll never know it just by looking at them. And it falls under an invisible disability.
Yeah.
And it's very important to raise awareness on invisible disability so that people better understand that you never know. Treat everyone the same, treat everyone kindly, and spread smiles. That's one thing that you'll see me post almost every day in the morning on my stories, is a video of me smiling and dancing and doing something dumb. It just makes other people smile and laugh. Smiles are contagious. So pass them along.
For sure. Speaking on positivity, what was I gonna say? Completely got a brain fart. So going back to like the modeling, do you have any interesting stories from being in the industry? How long have you been modeling for?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years? I'm sure you've come through a lot of...
I did some stuff when I was really little, and then I just didn't do anything, and then I accidentally fell into it about 10 years ago.
And what got you into modeling?
All accidental.
Yeah, all
that
accidental.
friend that had me help him out, and I never intended to get into it.
Yeah.
I feel like I just didn't see the line where I was doing work with bigger people, and
I got you.
Oh, hey, can you do a photo shoot here? Can you be in this one music video? And then it just kind of escalated. So I don't think I ever realized where it took that turn.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, a contract, you just sign here,
It
cool.
was just divine.
And
Like, it
then
just
I
happened.
realized,
Like,
yeah, one day I was like, I'm signing contracts. I'm really doing
Yeah,
this.
hell
like,
yeah.
It just
Living the
didn't click to
dream.
me.
Yeah, yup.
It escalated very rapidly.
I can't even imagine how that would be like, because you mentioned you were a teacher before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
going into modeling is just like, as far as like the level of happiness from being a teacher to now, how would you compare?
It's a different kind of happy. I'm not less happy now. I wasn't less happy then. It's a different type of happy. Right now I feel this happiness being able to spread positivity and help people feel better about themselves and who they are, and being accepting of who
Yeah.
you are, because disabled people, we're not broken. We're different, but
Mhm.
we're not broken. We're not less than.
Mhm.
We're just a little bit different than what people expect us to be.
Yeah.
And when I was teaching, it was a different kind of happy, because I got to help all of these kiddos find themselves and learn things and become who they are.
Yeah.
And I gave them the education that they're going to take with them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So very different kind of happiness, but overall both are beautiful and happy.
And in a way, you're still kind of educating. You still haven't left that teacher. I mean, you come out to these events, and like we were talked about earlier, just advocating for disability and still educating people on different things. So very admirable.
Thank you.
Any crazy stories you have
Crazy stories.
from working in the industry?
I mean, not so much about the shoots or the videos themselves.
Yeah.
I once took a friend with me to a
Yeah.
shoot, and I talk a lot about this on my page, that people that are disabled have mobility aids and certain supplies that they may need. So me personally, I have a lot of incontinence supplies, like incontinence pads and diapers, etc. So this day I just so happened to have been in a diaper, and I was getting dressed for my photo shoot, and my friend is helping me out, and she looks at me and she says, girl, you look so good in that diaper.
Just gassing you up. Huh?
Yes. And I was like, I'm not wearing this for the pictures.
Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
like, well, you should, dude, because you look so good. I wish I looked that good in a diaper. And
That's
I was
crazy.
like, what conversation are we having?
But it's good to have people like that in your circle, though. You need people
Yeah.
like that to gas you up and make you feel good about
Surround
yourself.
yourself with positive people that accept you for who you are and don't put you down. If you have someone in your life that's putting you down, for example, for wearing diapers,
Yeah.
you don't need them.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't need them.
What advice would you give 12-year-old you if you could go back and talk to yourself when you're 12?
12-year-old me. That's a deep one, and I would love to answer it. So I'm going to.
Yeah.
12-year-old me was a very sad child that was constantly crying and wishing I wasn't here. I was
Yeah.
one of those kids that I promise you almost did it.
Yeah.
And it was always because I felt like I wasn't enough. I wasn't enough for my family. I wasn't enough for my friends. I wasn't enough for society. There was always something missing.
Yeah.
I'm not pretty enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not curvy enough. Nothing ever felt like it was enough.
Yeah.
And if I could tell myself something right now, I would have told myself, 12-year-old me, that what everyone else is telling me is wrong. If I know that I'm enough, I am enough.
Yeah.
It is not up to anyone else to tell me if I am enough.
For sure.
Nobody else can tell
deep.
you who you should be. We're all the people that we're meant to be, and we need to learn how to accept who we are. The faster you learn how to accept who you are, the faster you'll be happy, and you'll be able to smile, and you'll be able to love yourself. And when you can love yourself, you can spread that love and that positivity. But I know, especially nowadays, it's incredibly difficult for today's youth
Yeah.
to be able to understand that they're enough for themselves. And you should never be competing for somebody else's approval. Only
For sure.
yours.
Absolutely. And that's just something that a lot of our viewers and people probably need to hear, because what you're going through at 12 is a lot of people going through that right now and fighting their demons, and a lot of, going back to mental health, just people just need that confirmation that, hey, someone else is going through the same thing, and look where you're at now. So that's awesome. What about just for the general public, any advice you give to young kids out there facing mental health? What kind of advice would you give them?
The advice that I would give them is two things. A simple one, smile. It's the whole concept of fake it till you make it. Um, Even if you're sad, if you smile in the mirror, your brain will start believing it.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll start really smiling and you'll start really feeling happy. Now, the other thing I can say is I I was a kid that wanted to grow up and be everything. I started college in high school. I graduated college before high school. I was valedictorian of my program when I became a therapist. Then I became a teacher. And I had all these plans for my life. And now I'm disabled. Sometimes life is going to throw a curveball and knock you down. Used to feel like everything that I worked for was for nothing, like it was taken away from me. I was at the top of my class to be a therapist and it was taken away. I was a teacher changing lives and it was taken away. And then I realized nothing was taken. My life took the turn that it was meant to take.
Yeah.
And as soon as I accepted that, I was so happy.
Yeah.
It wasn't for nothing.
It's a beautiful thing, right? When you come to that
Yeah.
realization, it's like, dang, like
Yeah, of
what's happening
course.
now is what's supposed to be happening.
Exactly. So as much as
Yeah.
we may want this over here,
Yeah,
we're meant to be this over here.
for sure.
And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Damn, that one hit deep. That was good. So we're wrapping up our time here. I appreciate you coming on the interview with us and
course.
just hanging out. Where can they follow you at on social media if they wanted to look you up? TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok. I'm under Xenon the Model. Xenon.the.model.
Nice. Same thing across Instagram, TikTok. All
Yeah,
those
you
things?
can find me on anything under Xenon the Model. I think Facebook, I'm under Xenon Love.
Okay,
It's my last name. Love.
nice. Xenon Love. That's crazy.
Thank you.
So again, appreciate you coming on the show. Real Talk Radio, 97.7 The City. Another Thursday. Xenon the Model. Amazing interview. Again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Anybody who is tuning in right now, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Soundgarden app, thank you so much for tuning in. Anybody wanting to sponsor any of these shows or want to partner up with us to do any events in the future here, please feel free to reach out to us on our pages, and we'll be glad to help you out. Other than that, we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you.